They crowded together to block every entrance and staircase to the building. Ministers were turned away or forced to wiggle their way with the help of police.
Everyone recognizes the importance and the right of a protest and a lawful protest, but when the very institutions of democracy are challenged in this way, I think it sets a very dangerous precedent.
Shutting this place down!
The protesters have camped outside the legislature since Friday to stand in support of the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs. But despite loud voices of opposition, there are 20 elected chiefs along the pipeline route who support the project, including most elected band councils.
I support the project, and there's lots of other Wet'suwet'ens that support the project, lots of community members, but they're afraid to voice their support or show their support because of ostracization.
But still, more disruptions. In New Hazelton, CN trails haven't budged since Thursday.
With our Wet'suwet'en brothers.
And a small group of young people in Bella Bella chained themselves to police cruisers.
No peace, no justice.
In Vancouver, this busy intersection blocked in all directions.
This is bullshit!
Some had little patience left. But after some delay, the throne speech was delivered, including a promise that reconciliation remains a top priority.
Is a matter of rights and justice. It's a journey we are on together.
But those on the streets see it differently.
There is no reconciliation.
The only way this is going to end is the RCMP leave with students.
Officers haven't left Wet'suwet'en, but the road is now clear. And Coastal GasLink says work will resume next week. Tina Lovegreen, CBC News, Vancouver.
So quite a dramatic, chaotic day at the BC legislature. That's where the CBC's Tanya Fletcher is tonight. And Tanya, we can see the protests continuing on behind you this evening.
Absolutely. You can see there are about several hundred still behind me right now. They've quieted down a little bit, but this has been the scene from dawn to dusk. Since I arrived at 6:30 this morning, they've been camped out in front of the legislature. Around 9 o'clock, they surrounded the entire building, and that's when a number of MLAs, reporters, staffers, anyone outside couldn't get inside because the demonstrators were blocking all of the doors. Now, those of us inside were told by legislature security and Victoria Police that we should not leave because they couldn't guarantee our safety. We knew the outdoor throne speech events would be cancelled, but then the ceremony to prorogue Parliament that was supposed to be at 10 a.m. was postponed for 3 hours as well. So it was an entirely fluid situation throughout the day. The Lieutenant Governor eventually made it inside. We still don't know exactly how. They didn't make her whereabouts, her specific whereabouts public. There was a talk she may have used the tunnel to come in, but even so, she did deliver the throne speech at 2 o'clock as scheduled, but the Premier wound up cancelling his 3:15 media availability. That never did happen. He instead sent out a statement, but no doubt in response to try at least to de-escalate the situation and avoid reporters' questions about it.
All right, well, they did eventually get around to the throne speech. Any significant details in it?
Nothing new in the way of new announcements. No, nothing unexpected. We are seeing mainly some policy-based measures that are hinted at in this blueprint. That is the throne speech as we look ahead to the spring session kicking off today. Extra protections for renters facing rent evictions. That's one thing we can expect to see more of. We're not sure exactly what form that will take, but also victims of domestic violence. They'll get 5 days paid leave from their jobs. Legislation will be introduced this spring to ban guns in schools, post-secondary institutions, and hospitals. And of course, don't think we're going to get away with this session without talking about ICBC. Legislation will have to be introduced still as a framework to the insurance overhaul as we move towards a no-fault model. So that will no doubt headline this session as well. Mike?
All right, Tanya, thanks very much. Tanya Fletcher at the legislature tonight.